Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Where today we have to talk about the Packers' elimination at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round, 22-10. It was, how should I put it, a disastrous showing by the Packers in multiple stages of football here, as the offense couldn't do jack diddly squat against the stout Philadelphia defense, and the special teams completely failed us when it mattered most. The only unit that showed up today was the defense, and even then, there's only so much they can do before Philadelphia pulled away to win this game. Before we get started, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about here. But first, what we're going to do the usual: go through the scoring breakdown, go through box score and team stats. And then we'll get into basically ripping this team apart for how poorly they seem to be prepared on offense and special teams. So the game started off with a Jahan Dotson 11-yard touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts to give Philly a 7-0 lead. The reason why they got a touchdown that early is because on the opening kickoff, Keyshawn Nixon got hit on a helmet-to-helmet hit, fumbled, and the Eagles recovered it, even though replay clearly showed that Keyshawn Nixon had possession of the ball and was down by contact. That should have been Packers' ball, but instead, 3 plays later, Eagles able to score an easy touchdown here. And then Jake Elliott hit a 31-yard field goal for a 10-0 Philadelphia lead. There was no scoring in the second quarter, although the Packers did miss a field goal that could have made it 10-3 at halftime. Instead, in the third quarter, Brandon McManus hit a 26-yarder to make it a 10-3 Green Bay deficit. Dallas Goedert had a 34-yard touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts, where he just absolutely stiff-armed Carrington Valentine to the ground, made him look like a fool. 16-0 Philly. The Packers got within a touchdown here on a Josh Jacobs 1-yard touchdown run, even though on the run before was just absolutely incredible by him, where he just took like 6 Eagles with him the whole way down. Jersey pulling it off is just absolutely incredible run. Look at it, the highlights for that. 16-10 Packers, but the Packers offense was unable to do anything in the next few drives, with a Jake Elliott 30-yard field goal and a Jake Elliott 32-yard field goal to put the game out of reach, 22-10. Take a look here at the box score. Jordan Love with 20 of 33 for 212 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, one of which was completely inexcusable when he went over the middle and did not see Zach Baum at all. First one was just an absolutely amazing play by Darius Slay, running the same route as Dontavian Wicks. You can tell that the Packers are missing Christian Watson there on that deep ball, but great play by Slay. And then on the Packers' last drive, Jordan Love threw the ball into the end zone trying to get a big play to Bo Melton, who was tackled in the end zone by Zach Baum that led to an interception. Should have been called pass interference, as he literally was tackled and preventing from me making him play on the ball. Don't know what the refs were seeing there at all. For rushing, Jacobs went 18 for 81 yards, 1 touchdown, including that 31 long run that was absolutely incredible. Jordan Love 2 for 10, Kraft 2 for 10 on QB on sneaks as well. Receiving, Jaden Reed 4 for 46, Jacobs 3 for 40, Wicks 2 for 39, Kraft 5 for 26 as well. Green Bay, a lot of fumbles. Keyshawn Nixon fumbled, Josh Jacobs fumbled, Sean Ryan fumbled, but it was because of a bad snap that the Packers were able to get back. Only lost to Keyshawn Nixon one as well. The defense had an absolutely great game here. Quay Walker first came back at 8 total tackles. McDuffie 8 total tackles, including half a sack. Cooper 6 total tackles. Valentine 5 tackles. Clark a tackle. Gary had a sack. Wooden had a sack, half a sack. A TFL for Slayton and Gary. In general, they were able to really contain this Philadelphia offense, forcing Saquon Barkley have only 119 yards. Really, he got going in the second half. But Jalen Hurts did not do much in the passing game. We generally contained Saquon decently well as well. But it was just the defense could only do so much against the Pack because of the Packers' incompetence. Keyshawn Nixon, we're going to talk about him later. McManus went 1 for 2 on field goals, including missing one. And Dan Wheeling had 2 punts along at 50. So, yeah. One thing we got to do. First things first, injuries hit this team hard, especially early on, as the Packers lost left guard Elton Jenkins to an injury that looked like the same injury that had Jordan Love. when a Philadelphia Eagle player just during a bull rush kind of had his head down, ran right into like the elbow of Elton Jenkins. He missed the rest of the game with an injury, and we had to start rookie. We put in Travis Glover for a bit, the 6th-round rookie out of Georgia State. Did not work out at all, and then we put in Kadeem Telford. Overall, just everything got messed up from there. And then in the third quarter, as the offense was kind of getting going a little bit, we lost Romeo Dobbs on a ball that was thrown in the end zone, out with a concussion after a bad hit. Then Jaden Reed went out of the game as well, so missing our top 3 guys from the regular season there. And then on the last drive, Josh Myers had an absolutely brutal injury that ended his game as well, which luckily for him, as he's going to free agency, is not an ACL. Looks like to be kind of maybe a fracture of some sort, as the reports are. But still, injuries did not help. Quay Walker went out with injury. Rashawn Gary went out with injury as well. So injuries definitely affected the Packers here in this game. Even if we won this game, we would not have done well the next one with how many bodies we've been missing. But what we need to talk about here is the Packers' inability to do anything on offense in the first half. Absolutely nothing. No points again. Slow starts. Jordan Love kind of looked off all game. He threw 3 interceptions. The deep ball was not there. Was very just inefficient and not very protective of the football here. Put his receivers in some dangerous spots as well. The run game couldn't really get going until the third quarter. And some of the play calls just absolutely baffled me. When the Packers were driving down by 6 points, on 3rd and 3, Matt LaFleur decided to run a halfback draw with Emmanuel Wilson after Josh Jacobs hobbled a bit. What the heck are you doing? I know you're going to go for it on 4th down anyway, but it's just like, what are you doing there? And it's just baffling. And then we were unable to make it on 4th and 2 because Malik Heath, who normally won't be in because, Jaden Reed or Romeo Dobbs would be on that route, was unable to complete the catch in bounds. If Romeo was there, most likely would have been a catch, but out for injury. And the special teams. Oh my gosh, the special teams. As soon as we thought that we were over with this, Keyshawn Nixon didn't have the greatest year of all time returning, but he didn't make any dumb mistakes like that. Opening kickoff. Took it out of the end zone. Like, normally don't have a problem. I got to about the 25-yard line. Got popped, lost the fumble. I know we're going to talk about how the refs missed the helmet hit, or the refs missed the replay review. But you want to avoid that replay review controversy in the first place if you just held on to the football. That's it. And another thing, too. McManus pushed a kick wide right. Missed a 38-yarder. And it's like, of course he missed one here. He has been money all season for us. And of course, the playoffs come around and he misses the kick. Rich Bisaccia is probably not going to be retained next year as a special teams coordinator, as, again, the special teams in general kind of cost us in the big game. Not as much as what the offense did, but cost us in the big game. But one thing I have to absolutely sing the praises about is this Packers defense. They were the reason why this game was not a complete and utter blowout. They were able to make sure the Eagles did not score that many points. They kept us in the game. The fact that we only had down 10-0 at halftime felt like a miracle. Felt like we should have been down 28-0. And one reason why that happens is because our defense forced the Eagles into quite a lot of 3-and-outs. A lot of punts for Philadelphia. Heck, we forced them to punt, 5 times? That's pretty impressive against Philadelphia. And like I said, we were able to really contain their passing game, which is really impressive. And in general, until late in the game, the run defense held up. And again, the reason why we kind of lost traction there is because our offense couldn't do anything. The defense was out there for so long. And it's just, we couldn't do anything and we couldn't generate the turnover we needed. That's the only thing bad about the defense. We couldn't generate a turnover that we desperately needed. But yeah, this was obviously not going to be the Packers' year. You can just kind of tell heading into the playoffs how they struggled. And we need to find some answers. And one thing I think the Packers really do need, is that number 1 alpha wide receiver. Because we have a lot of great weapons here, but We need that number one guy who Jordan Love can go to and trust every single time because, like, Jaden Reed has struggled with drops this year. Romeo Doubs struggled with health. Christian Watson struggles with health. Dontavian Wicks struggles with drops. These guys are all really good receivers, but they're not great enough that, like a guy pointed out, all these quarterbacks in the playoffs have that number one guy that they could trust. Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Patrick Mahomes has like a Travis Kelce, I know, but DeAndre Hopkins. Last night, Baker Mayfield has Mike Evans. Jaden Daniels has Terry McLaurin. They all have a guy that they can go out and trust to make the play. Packers don't really have that. So now the Packers are heading into the offseason with a bunch of questions, some holes to fill in the roster, but we do have some money to free up now that, like, the Aaron Rodgers deal is coming off. So many other deals we kicked the can down the road from last year's of Rodgers are freeing up. The Packers are going to have some money to work with here in the offseason. And what Josh Jacobs already said, he's going to be calling some guys to get in. And hoping it's Max Crosby or maybe even Devontae Adams reunion to be that number one guy. We'll see, but it was a bit of a disappointment here in the playoffs. It came in a dud, but still, we won 2 more games in the regular season than we did last year. We have a third-place schedule coming up next year, and hopefully we can fill in those holes. I mean, Gutekunst did a good job last year of filling in some holes with the safety room and running back upgrades as well. Hopefully he can do it again here with corner and wide receiver, and I got full faith that this team can come back next year. I mean, the Vikings can't be that good next year, right? Right? But, yeah. Overall, that's my thoughts on this game. Just absolutely disappointing, but nowhere near the most heartbreaking loss we've ever had. I mean, I lived through 2014. If I can get through 2014 Seattle, I can get through anything. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Draft contest is going to be coming up here soon, so tune in for that. But this is the last recap of the Packers 2024 season. We're going to get into the offseason content here as well, so thank you all so much for supporting me this NFL season, and I can't wait to see you guys in the offseason. Peace.